We're at the home of Irvin and B. O'Connell, 227 Amherst Street, just a stone's throw away from our theater. And many years ago and throughout the years, the O'Connells have been staunch supporters of the Little Theater. And we're here with B. O'Connell today to discuss some of the things that the theater went through back in the 40s and through today. B, it was difficult sometimes to get things done. You had to use a lot of resources that aren't typically thought of as theater. What did you have to do to keep people interested?
Well, people just loved to work in the theater. But of course, everybody wanted to be a star. But it took so many people to get a show on that all the property people, the stage people, and the lighting people all had to work together.
I understand that in the beginning, when you first became involved, it was a lot of readings that you did in private homes. Who were some of the people that put those together?
Well, the first readings were at my house, Rutherford House on Loudon Street. And when Mrs. Louise Patton moved back to Virginia, she immediately became involved and became our general director. And it was she who really kept things going. The first play I remember was Goodbye My Fancy, in which I wore one of the new fangled materials, nylon over pale pink taffeta, and I thought I was really fixed up. And then we had a play called Blithe Spirit. And there were some difficulties about the people learning all their lines. Mrs. Patton said, "We're not going to have a play with many people in it again." Mrs. Patton had a habit of breaking her leg on her highly waxed floors, so when it was my turn, at that time, the president of the Little Theater had to be the producer of the play. So it was my turn to put on a play. Mrs. Patton said, "Have a play with just a few people. Don't have many people in it." Well, I wanted to put on Happy Birthday, a play that was written for Helen Hayes. Had been a big hit on Broadway and was lots of fun. But it had lots of magic scenes in it. John P. Lewis was in high school then, but his hobby was magic. So I said, "Mrs. Patton, we've got to put this on while John is here. When he graduates next year, we won't have anybody to do the magic." Happy Birthday was mostly a nightclub scene with many little groups. And so we rehearsed the little groups in Mrs. Patton's hospital room. And we put the play on. There were a couple of marriages came out of that association. And we had the magic. And we had a singer from Martinsburg, Ellie Creamer, sing the main part. And everybody had a wonderful time.
Ms. O'Connell, I understand that oftentimes there weren't very many places to put on a production, and you'd build and rehearse in one place and move the show to another. What kind of problems did that present?
Well, we heard about theater in the round, and we went to Washington to see the famous theater in the round there, and we decided we would try it. My husband had a little space in his bark mill buildings, which he renovated enough so that we could have a stage and a small audience. And we put on 3 little one-act plays. One I directed was called We Were Dancing. And we were so delighted with the response of the people, that we decided this was it. From then on, we did theater in the round. And we liked the place in the bark mill.
I want to thank you for joining us. And thank you for all the years that you've contributed to the Little Theater.
Well, I want to thank all of Winchester because we have had the best audiences ever. And we've had the best people to work with. And I'm so glad we have all this new crop of wonderful actors and workers to keep it going.
Welcome to Long Green, the home of Headley's Auction, and one time a host for one production for the Winchester Little Theatre. Also amongst all the antiques are many memories, and with us to share some memories about the Little Theatre is Boyd Headley. Boyd, what happened that we held a show way out here?
Well, we wanted to do a fundraiser, and at that time we had no particular place to do it, so this was a good place. And we did a melodrama, so to speak, called Love Rides the Rails. And we had a box supper and gave people popcorn to throw at the actors and all those things. The stage was built out here behind us there, from the wall back there out to these two posts. And we had a full-size train that we brought out at the end of the acts there. And the villains and all those things, and at the end the big train came out, and it was a big production. We had a curtain that came down the front like the old vaudeville houses, and we sold ads for our fundraiser. We sold ads to anybody who would buy one, and here they are all painted on the front of this. It was a lot of fun. And the box supper was good, as I remember.
Was it a successful fundraiser?
Yes, very good. We were very pleased with it. I don't remember exactly now how much money, but those money then and money now is so different, it would make much difference with it.
You've been active for many, many years. When did you first start in with the theater?
Well, I was aware of the Little Theater before, when I was in high school, but I actually began when I got out of the Army in 1945, and then the spring of 46 we got involved, and been in more than I should. It'll take all your time if you let it, the Little Theater will.
What were some of your more memorable roles?
Oh, I've had some good ones. I think the one I liked best was Elwood P. Dowd in Harvey. I think everybody in the world would like to be Elwood P. Dowd and Harvey. And then I've had some other good ones, but that was my favorite, I guess.
I understand you've held just about every office in the theater. You've been in production crews. You've done a lot of acting. What's been the most fun for you?
I don't know. The acting is fun, but then the acting is soon gone. But the working on the building and those things, that's there, and we'll be there, and it's feel like that's the main part that I've enjoyed. Even up to our landscaping last month, or last fall. It's the things that last, my biggest thing in a theater.
It's taken a lot of energy, a lot of your time. Why do you do it?
It would take all your time if you'd let it, as I'm sure any member would let you. But I enjoy it, and it helps you in everything. You get to know people and gives you self-confidence. I'm sure you've been through all. I used to recruit for the theater a little bit and tell them that invaluable experience, meeting the public and speaking on your feet and all those things. I just enjoy it. It has cost me money, I'm sure. Irvin and I used to go down there, and he'd bring his crew, and I'd bring my crew. And one time I thought I was going to pay my man in little theater tickets instead of money that week.
Well, I want to take this opportunity to personally thank you for all your efforts over the years. It's meant the difference, and it's allowed the theater to grow and to be what it is. But you have touched on the key to the whole thing, and that's that these productions are a lot of fun. And if you don't believe me, watch this little clip.